Hi guys, this is Diane Hogarth here, Millionaire Mom, and I found such a great guy. I love him already. His name's Corey Richard, and he's got two Facebook groups. I met him in his group, Growth Hackers group, where he encourages you to go live, and Travel Secrets VIP, which went to 10,000 members in 4 months. So without further ado, I would like to pick your brains, Corey Richard. Could you tell me a bit about why you started the groups and how the little people who've say got 5 in the group or 100 in the group and they want to grow it, but grow it organically so that they get connection with people?
Definitely. Well, Diane, first off, thank you for having me. It's so much fun being able to network with people that are clearly doing really cool things out there and wanting to help other people and jumping on calls like this. So thank you for having me, number one. So where this all starts. So my background, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, and my background, I went to college. I won't go any further back than that, but we'll start at college. I went to school for broadcast journalism. And so years ago, I developed a ton of experience with being on camera, doing the whole news thing. My dream in college was to work with ESPN, having a headset on exactly like this, calling basketball games, baseball games, women's volleyball games, football games. That's what I did all throughout college. And then right when I got an internship with ESPN right before my senior year, I realized that I just didn't want to do that anymore. And there's a longer story behind it, but the simplest way to think about it was any guy that's grown up playing sports always wants to work in sports, at least at some point in their life. And women too. I'm just talking primarily as a man because obviously that's what I am. And playing sports with enough people and feeling that sentiment from so many, I realized that the supply of these jobs was so low and the demand was so high that I just didn't want to compete in that. And those two learning lessons of, wow, I can actually be on camera years ago. And two, finding a market that I actually want to compete in that is not full of personalities that I don't necessarily want to be around. And that sort of was my impetus and my jumpstart to jumping into several startup companies over the last 8 years since I graduated college, and many of which have failed. The one right before this was a t-shirt drop shipping company that I was selling funny dog t-shirts online through Facebook ads and all that fun stuff. Failed miserably, but you know what? That's where you grow. And how I got into building this travel group primarily was I was involved in a network marketing opportunity last year. Ultimately realized I didn't want to do it the traditional way. I left. And a colleague of mine turned me on to another opportunity and said, hey, Corey, this is a very trusted advisor of mine in the marketing space. He's just said, hey, Corey, Facebook groups, that's where it's at. If you can get people into a group for XYZ reasons, you'll be able to crush it. And by leveraging Advertising Boost, which is a vacation incentive program that Diane and I both use, was able to, through unique strategies, grow the group to over 10,000 in just under 3 months, which is insane. And we're in our 4th month now, and it's slowed down a little bit, only because we've kind of pumped the brakes on the growth. But that's how I jumped in. And in terms of like people getting started, your second question, it's making groups. It's actually I could literally create a checklist on this, and I will be doing that soon in our group, Growth Hackers group, Diane, which I'm sure you're excited about. But one of the best things to get engagement is by making it fun. So, for instance, in my group right now, I run a variety of different games using the travel incentives. So, making it fun and also making it super high value. I found that when I was running an ad months ago, before I even had this group, I was running an ad for a free vacation and I was getting a ton of opt-ins. Ton. It was like 70%. People would see the ad, they'd click on it, they'd get the incentive, but nobody would actually activate and purchase and pay the tax and resort fee. And the reason why that is because the vacation was deemed such low value and scammy. But when I flipped it on its head and said, nope, only a select number of people are going to win between one and five, let's say.
Yeah.
You have to perform this specific task, which for the most part is commenting on a post liking a post, or just guessing a number, right? A random number. But if you can create this fun and really lively environment and also put yourself on camera, which I learned years ago, and now I'm just bringing that back into the reality of today, of just being yourself. And Diane, you and I were just talking about this, having a conversation, responding to people's comments, even though it's a little bit bizarre at first, but with anything that's new, eventually just get over it and people start to trust you more. And all of a sudden you have loyal followers that actually care about you and what you're doing because they've realized that you're real. So I know that was a really elongated answer, but hope that's helpful.
So you've got holidays and you've got hotel vouchers. So how do you balance it out? Do you actually chop it around and say 1 week it's a hotel voucher, 1 week it's 2 days or 3 days in Orlando, then a hotel voucher the week after, then a dining voucher the week after that?
So I only use the vacations. So there was a strategic reason behind that. I mentioned before that I'm also involved in a travel network marketing opportunity, which I won't go into too much detail about here. But because there was a competitive tension there, I actually only focus on the vacation incentives, and I don't use the travel cards. I haven't tried out the restaurant cards yet. There is an activation fee, which I saw and said, oh, I don't know about this yet, but I found so much success out of leveraging just the vacation incentives themselves that I just stuck with that and found something that worked.
Because somebody won a flight, didn't they, the other day?
They do. So I do something a little bit unique in my group. So with Advertising Boost, there is an affiliate marketing aspect to it. So you do get paid a nominal commission when folks do activate their trip. And what's interesting about that, Diane, is I tell my audience that's the case. Like, that's what happens. I'm very upfront about it because a lot of questions in Ad Boost specifically from folks over there is, how do you get people to actually buy into this and realize that it's true? Well, just be transparent with them and give them all the terms and conditions. Tell them that they have to pay a tax and resort fee. It's not free. And that you actually, if you use my strategy like this, I say, I receive a kickback. But what's really cool about that is a percentage of that kickback is going back to the group in the form of future prizes. So I take a percentage and I give it back to the group. So I'm not paying personally for those flight cards. I'm buying them, but it's just coming out of my investment back into the business. And that's why it goes back to what I mentioned before of creating this fun and this energy and this excitement. Everybody travels. I mean, I know I run a specific travel group, but across all niches, that strategy can work because everyone
wants to go to the beach.
Yeah, everybody wants to travel. And if people know, like, hey, all right, well, if you're running a business, obviously you're generating money. And here's a guy in Corey that is telling us that, yes, he's generating money, but he's actually giving back to us. And that's how we're able to generate future prizes and keep it going and keep the engagement going. But your other question about how I split it up, I'm not running prizes every single day. I make it very mysterious. I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to have people really just like clamoring for when the next one is going to be happening. But what I just did actually, and I launched this yesterday or 2 days ago, I just started using ManyChat, which is a chatbot program. And so I moved some of my real loyal followers onto ManyChat. So they're going to be in the know immediately when competitions are happening. And I did that yesterday for the first time. And I'm going to be creating a video later on today in my group showing what those numbers look like. But the open rate was like 70, 80%. The click-through rate was 50, 60%. So it just really goes to show that when you're communicating with those people that are the most loyal to you, you can create that momentum because they trust you and you make it fun.
So if somebody's won a holiday, do you follow up with them to say, would you like to incentivize your business in the same way?
I don't follow up in that way. I've made some pitches for my network marketing opportunity, but what I realized, I mean, there's two different types of groups. There are B2C, business to consumer, and then there's B2B, right? And I manage two. The travel group is more just consumers. I mean, I've pitched my business opportunity. I found that there are a lot of folks that are really interested in it, but you have to have that emotional intelligence, and you can't be a salesperson, right? You can't just say like, oh, well, here I am, I'm this trustworthy guy. And then all of a sudden I'm trying to like sell you something.
Yeah.
You can do that periodically when you've built enough value and trust. But if you just keep doing that, and most of my folks, I mean, candidly, they're not really business owners. And what's interesting is I had an individual reach out to me about a week ago, and this is an affiliate marketing expert, travel hacker, very in line on the surface with value that could be provided to folks in my group. So he reaches out to me and he says, hey, Corey, great to meet you. And he's calling me from Bali, right, of all places. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. My travel group is 45 to 64-year-old women from the Midwest that are not, at least from what I've gathered, are not so much interested in learning about online marketing strategies and growing a business. They care about traveling with their family. They care about their loved ones. They care about having fun and just creating this fun environment. However, and this is just a teaser. I know that we like talking about teasers, Diane. This is a teaser that this individual is going to be joining me for a future interview in our group and providing some really cool tips and strategies around affiliate marketing, Facebook ads, lead gen. So that's what I said to him. I said, listen, this group is not valuable in this sort of way, at least on the surface. This other group, I feel like, is going to get a ton more value out of your expertise. Let's do that. So it's just understanding your audience, but that just comes with time. Comes with doing lives, understanding what people do, even just writing a post. I mean, we talk about status posts, we talk about teaser posts together, those like colorful posts in Facebook. You can create a post asking like, what do you guys all do for a living? Just to, not to get off track here, but one thing that is one of the most important things about Facebook groups, and I'm going to be creating a video as well today that shows this in my group that everybody should check out. Facebook groups are the best for feedback on your business. Feedback. Understanding what I just said a second ago. What do you guys all do? If you're targeting a specific person for your business, wouldn't it be helpful to understand like what's everyone's background, what's your job, and does what I offer actually align with what you do for a living?
So what's the best competition you've ever run? What's the one that's got the most leads and the most excitement?
All right, so the best is best is a subjective term because I would not actually recommend people doing this, but let's just say I'll give you two examples. So the first example, the one with the best engagement. So this is a post this is a live that I did that got over 3,000 comments in like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And the reason why that was, and again, I wouldn't recommend people doing this, and I'll explain why. I did a live guessing game giveaway where I said, hey, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 500 or 1 and 1,000, whatever it is. And
there was too many numbers there, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, and I think I had like 70, 80 people on this live, and the comments at the end of it came in at 3,000. But what's the problem with it, and why I don't recommend doing something like that? Don't do live giveaways like that because you're not going to see all the comments coming in. You're only seeing a small percentage, especially when you have a ton of people on your live and people commenting like every second. So I saw the winner come in and I'm like, oh, I'm not seeing the number. But then I looked at the numbers after the live and I'm like, oh, wow, there's like 20 people that like actually said the number correctly. And like, I missed it. So what I ended up doing in those circumstances is I just end up giving away the vacation to each person who did it before the person that I chose. So that was the one with the best engagement. Any game like that, like a guessing game, a never have I ever, or even something like pick a random city and say the first person who guesses it wins. I mean, there's so many games that you could find online, and I've only tried like a very small percentage of them. But that's why I always go back to my first answer to your question originally, which is like, how do you create engagement? It's by making it fun, and you can do that.
Like those, those little puzzles with the 3 bananas and the 2 apricots and the plum, and then the 2 apricots and the cherry and whatever. I always get them wrong. I cannot. And you get hundreds of people going, no, but how did you get that? I get this, and you just get so much. And I love them. So you could actually find one of those maths puzzles,
Oh
and
yeah.
whoever gets the answer right gets a free holiday.
Yeah. I've been such a huge, I mean, you're totally right. And I've been such a huge advocate of standing on the shoulders of giants, that like Isaac Newton quote from hundreds of years ago. And what I mean by that is just use things that you know already work. I mean, maybe somebody hasn't applied it in your business yet, but if it's a game that everybody finds popular and it's really simple and it can apply using a vacation incentive, using a flight gift card, using an Amazon gift card, I mean, whatever it is, try it. Because who knows? I've had a bunch of tests that have bombed. They happen. You don't know if it's going to work or not, but we talked about earlier with travel, everybody does it. So something that just works.
So the best incentive in the world is to give away a free holiday.
It can be if it's legit, which fortunately for what we do is legit with Advertising Boost and Book VIP.
So have you got any last advice to give people who are wanting to smash their Facebook groups and actually get paid for doing so?
Yeah, takes time.
That's true.
It takes time, and I'm going to be completely honest. Like, this is anybody can do what I've done. Number one, anybody can. I am a little bit of an anomaly. Like, just, I don't even mean to sound arrogant at all saying that, because it does, like, it makes people turn heads when you say, oh, I grew my Facebook group to 10,000 in 3 months. But I'll tell you what, there was a lot of emotional intelligence that was happening over the course of those 3 months. When to run a contest, what contest to run, how to follow up with somebody appropriately. You know, there's so many different things.
Techniques.
And as another teaser, Diane, I am currently putting together a course that does outline step by step, regardless of niche, how to set it up, how to build it and grow it, how to monetize it, strategies, how to reach out to partners, like a variety of different things based on feedback that I'm receiving already from folks in our group. But the biggest thing is time and patience. I mean, it's so generic. Everybody hears it all the time, but keep trying things out. Have crazy optimistic belief that you'll do it. And don't be afraid. The most important, don't be afraid to jump on lives. You will never be successful. I will say that till the day I die in my group. In both, well, primarily in the group building group. And you've already heard me say this, Diane, on a couple of videos. You will never be successful with a group unless you are not afraid to jump on a video in the very beginning, right? Because if you have a group, you jump into it, you become a moderator or an admin because a friend has a group that already has like 20,000 people in that. You don't need to jump on a live. But if you are a business owner and you want people to trust you, this is the most incredible medium on the planet for us, even right now, just to be on this video chat, for us to become better friends, right? That's what happens. And fortunately on this, we're able to communicate face-to-face, well, as close face-to-face as we can. But on a live, you still can do that. And you have comments coming in and people, imagine your reaction, right? Or at least like even share your reaction again, like the other day when I was commenting back to you and we were having a dialogue and I could tell that you were doing that exact face on the other side of the video because you're like, oh my God, Corey's actually responding back. And sure, my group's only at 150 in the group building group. It's growing every day. And we had maybe like 5-6 people on. That creates that really tight bond. So if there's anything of all the things that I've said, do not be afraid to jump on lives. Don't overthink it. Come in with an agenda. I do that. Maybe have 1 or 2 things that you want to talk about. You don't need to do 30-minute lives like I do in my travel group, which is absolutely insane, only because I get off track a lot because people write comments that are hilarious in my group, and I just start to like have these side dialogues with people, and it's really funny. But that's the best part about it, and you do that enough. I mean, every day primarily where you're giving value, but you do that enough, even once a week, people start to see that you're a real person. They start to trust you.
And then I've just thought of something for the people at home. Hey, if you find a really good group that's good quality like yours or mine, Traction Marketing Unleashed, you can actually put yourself out as a leader because you give top tips in other groups.
Right.
And then your posture is, oh my God, she knows what she's talking about, or he knows something that I don't. And then you cross over, don't you? And it becomes like a little spider's web of people. But
Oh
now
yeah.
I can cross over, and I can help you, and you can help me, and you have different skills, and I have different skills. And we can all work together to become millionaires. Because I'm millionaire mom on YouTube. Yay!
That's it. It's all about giving value. And we were just talking about this. I mentioned that one of the best ways to generate leads for your group organically, right? Not all of us have money to, or really the knowledge of running Facebook ads and how to do that. One of the best ways to do it is something you just said, Diane, which is you go into these groups that are related to your niche. You post value. Either you comment. The
Yeah.
first way of doing it is you just comment on people's posts and you can friend them and build relationships. But the best way to do it is by actually having tangible value that you can give to people. For instance, in Advertising Boost, I have 2 posts, but I'll talk about one of them. The first one is, and I made this back in April, where I have a post in there where I generated a couple hundred leads using a landing page, and I gave like a back end look at my Facebook ads, what the data was. Here's my landing page. Do you want it? So if you can give away something for free, I have over 400. Yeah, I have over 400 comments on there, and it's been up there since April. But those are all people that say, I want it. They reach out. You reach out to them. You say, hey, here's the funnel. Here you go. I also have this group that does X, Y, and Z. Are you interested? Absolutely. And if you have something that's like actually head turning, right, where I say, hey, I have a group where I created over 10,000 people in 3 months, and I have a group building group that shares tips on how to do that. Would you like me to send through a link?
Or put the button on the page and they can go through automatically.
Right. I mean, I'm a bigger fan of giving people the option. I know it's more automated if you just put in the link,
Yeah.
but taking it to the next level, I mean, I'm such a relationship driven person and like networking and getting people to trust me type of person that if I give them the option where I say, hey, I'll send through a link if you'd like, what do you think they're going to say? They're going to say yes. So you get them saying yes, boom, they're in. And now all of a sudden they trust you even just like a slightly bit more. And it's coming from a place of just like a warm heart and wanting to actually teach and show people how to do this stuff.
I think all the people in the whole world, I just want to go and hug you now. Because you seem like such a warm, genuine person that just really cares about the person off the street. Do you know what I mean? That you, whoever you meet, that you just want to help them, and that's the right attitude. Because I can learn from you, and you can learn from me, and join his group. What's the group called? Go on, give it a plug.
So the group building group is called the Group Growth Hackers, and my travel group is called Travel Secrets VIPs. And I do recommend you join both of them because if you are in the Travel Secrets VIPs group, you're getting an inside look into current tests that I'm running. And you can see opportunities that you could potentially be leveraging in your group. I'm still going to talk about it in the group building group, but not right away. That's why it really pays to be inside of both groups. And the last plug on both of them is you have to answer the questions that are asked to enter the group. Because number one, it provides me with feedback. But number two, in my Travel Secrets group, I have 4 moderators, and they already know that if people don't answer questions, they're just not going to let them in. So that's a trick with automation, and that's why it just comes from relationships. It's finding folks in your groups to start doing more of the back end approvals for you. And the four ladies that I work with are absolutely incredible. Like we have a group chat. They're constantly helping and being super, super valuable. There's one woman that posts a positive quote every single morning. Like it's incredible. So that's definitely recommended because you won't be admitted to either group unless you answer the questions.
So in a nutshell, all you've got to do is be yourself, because if you put posts on of you and your family with your small children, then you'll attract people like that, won't you? And because you went on a big long walk with some guys, didn't you, the other day? Or I saw like
Probably. Which one are you referring to?
a hike with loads of guys and you've got backpacks on and then you just
Oh, right. Yeah. So those were my roommates.
yeah, so you've got to brand yourself and just do what you love and then post it, because whoever's the same age as you and likes walking, they're just going to be attracted to you. Whoever's a bit older
Oh
and,
yeah.
and they're like still, single, divorcees, and all the children have left home, they're more going to resonate with me. But whichever one, we both are completely genuine person and we both want to help you. So that's why my channel exists.
Absolutely. Can't agree more. If you're not yourself, people are going to pick up on that and it's not going to work.
Okay, we're both going to sign off now. Is there anything else you want to say to the ladies and gentlemen outside?
Well, I first off want to thank you, Diane, for inviting me on your show. This was a ton of fun. It's really amazing to be able to have conversations like this with folks that are also doing really interesting things. I know the majority of the show is about what I'm doing, but I know that you're doing amazing things also. And I look forward to learning from you too, and appreciate all your help inside of my group. And I'm going to be jumping into your group and seeing what you're doing in there and just sharing ideas. And then secondly, I just want to say to everybody out there that Facebook groups are incredible. They are the future email marketing because of how much contact and direct contact you have with folks. And I want to tell you that you can do it. Anybody can do what I've done. Anybody. But you do need mentorship. You do need help. And that allows you to cut down on the time to make these things happen. But just believe in yourself. You can do it with like any of this stuff. It takes a lot of time. This is 8 years in the making. Like I've failed in countless businesses and opportunities and just in personal life so much over the last 8 years. And now it's all of a sudden starting to churn and get momentum. So don't give up. You can do it, and surround yourself with people like Diane and myself that are also trying things and taking action, because that's when you can actually make it happen.
Cool. And if you want my how to get 56 leads from one post on Facebook, a teaser post, not a status post, click the link below and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye.